Is singing a good way to rejoice over victory? What's a good theme for singing to the Lord? Do we also quickly forget God's mighty hand and backslide into complaining? What songs did the Israelites sing during the Exodus? Did the whole experience help their faith? Then Moses and the Israelites sang this song to the Lord. They said, "I'll sing to the Lord, for he's highly exalted. He's thrown the horse and its rider into the sea. The Lord's my strength and my song. He's become my salvation. This is my God, and I'll praise him. My Father's God, and I'll exalt him. The Lord is a warrior. Yahweh, that is the Lord, is his name." Did God conquer the Israelites' enemy? Will God conquer the enemy that wants to enslave us? Pharaoh's chariots and his army he's hurled into the sea. His best officers sank in the Reed Sea. The deep covered them. They went down into the depths like a rock. Your right hand, Lord, was majestic in strength. Your right hand, Lord, shattered the enemy. Did the enemy threaten them? Have enemies threatened the church? And in the greatness of your excellency, you've overthrown them that rose up against you. You sent forth your wrath, which consumed them as stubble. And with the blast of your nostrils, the waters were gathered together. The floods stood upright as a heap, and the depths were congealed, or foamed, in the heart of the sea. The enemy said, "I'll pursue, I'll overtake, I'll divide the spoil. My lust shall be satisfied upon them. I'll draw my sword, my hand shall destroy them." How easy was it for God to conquer Israel's enemy? Do we trust him to conquer our enemies? You blew with your wind, the sea covered them. They sank like lead in the mighty waters. Who's like you among the gods, O Yahweh? Who's like you, majestic in holiness, fearsome in praises, working wonders? You stretched out your right hand, the earth swallowed them. Did God faithfully lead his redeemed? Will God faithfully lead us to our eternal Holy Land? In your faithfulness, you've led the people whom you've redeemed. In your strength, you've guided them to your holy habitation. The people have heard. They tremble. Anguish has gripped the inhabitants of Philistia. Then the chiefs of Edom were terrified. The leaders of Moab, trembling grips them. All the inhabitants of Canaan have despaired. Did God cause Israel's enemies to fear them? Will God grant us our inheritance? Terror and dread will fall on them. By the power of your arm, they'll be as still as a stone, until your people pass by, Lord, until the people you bought pass by. You'll bring them in and plant them on the mountain of your inheritance, the place, Lord, you made for your dwelling, the sanctuary, Lord, your hands have established. The Lord reigns forever and ever. Did Moses and Aaron's sister Miriam also compose a song? Did they sing and dance both? Was she a prophetess? When Pharaoh's horses, chariots, and charioteers rushed into the sea, the Lord brought the water crashing down on them. But the people of Israel had walked through the middle of the sea on dry ground. Then Miriam, the prophet, Aaron's sister, took a tambourine and led all the women as they played their tambourines and danced. And Miriam sang this song, "Sing to the Lord, for he has triumphed gloriously. He's hurled both horse and rider into the sea." Did it take long for the Israelites to lose faith and start complaining again? Moses led Israel onward from the Red Sea, and they went out into the wilderness of Shur. And they went 3 days in the wilderness and found no water. When they came to Marah, they couldn't drink from the waters of Marah, for they were bitter. Therefore its name was called Marah. The people murmured against Moses, saying, "What shall we drink?" Did Moses intervene? And did God solve their problem once more? Was God testing the people's faith? If they were obedient, would they not experience any of the diseases that Egyptians suffered? Moses cried out to the Lord, and the Lord pointed out a tree to him. He threw it into the water, and the water became sweet. The Lord made a regulation and a ruling there, and there he tested them. The Lord said, "If you're careful to obey the Lord your God, do what God thinks is right, pay attention to His commandments, and keep all of His regulations, then I won't bring on you any of the diseases that I brought on the Egyptians. I'm the Lord who heals you." Then they came to Elim, where there were 12 springs of water and 70 palm trees. They camped there by the water. Is singing a good way to rejoice over victory? What's a good theme for singing to the Lord? Do we also quickly forget God's mighty hand and backslide into complaining? You decide.